On this video, we're going to be looking at how governments intervene in markets. It's a general introduction. Detail is covered on other videos. It comes up on two parts of the spec. On theme 1, we're covering things like indirect taxation, subsidies, maximum minimum price, tradable pollution permits, how the state provides public goods, provision of information and regulation. On theme 3, we're more concerned with competition policy, for example, policy on mergers or cartels, how they try to restrict monopolies and how they try to promote competition between firms. So the first question is, why do they bother? Why don't they just sort of adopt the Adam Smith type approach of letting free markets do their own thing? Well, first of all, free markets sometimes fail. So if the government intervenes, it could try to get the consumption of goods with negative externalities or demerit goods down. It could try to improve where the opposite is the case, where there's positive externalities or merit goods. Obviously, there's some markets that don't exist at all, public goods, so the government does need to intervene there. Might do it to reduce income or wealth inequality or poverty stroke social tension. Obviously, some of these will be macro policies as well, and to support key industries and employment. In other words, again, to pursue those macroeconomic objectives. In terms of competition policy, at the moment, both the EU and the UK are aligned in this, so there's not a lot of difference between them. Broadly speaking, they want to promote competition. So basically, they want a fair fight. They want to make markets work better. They want them to be more efficient. They want to particularly protect the consumer, to widen consumer choice, but at the same time to encourage dynamic efficiencies like innovation and to encourage price competition between suppliers. So basically, as the name implies, competition policy is about promoting competition. If that's the why, well, what about the how? Well, one thing governments can do is they can control and look at mergers. So, for example, the Competition and Markets Authority did not allow the proposed merge between Sainsbury's and Asda to go through. They are very tough on price fixing cartels. They want to open up, liberalise markets to get more competition that way. And particularly with the EU, they try to get a level playing field. It's very big in the negotiations between the UK and the EU, where the EU were really keen to make sure that after Brexit, the UK didn't, for example, subsidise its industry and allow us to compete on an unfair footing. So now the who. Well, within the EU, the European Competition Commissioner has overall responsibility for that. At the moment, it's Margrethe Vestager. In the UK, we have the Competition and Markets Authority, the CMA, and that replaced the Office of Fair Trading and the Competition Commission. So effectively, the body that provides oversight on competition is actually a monopoly. We also have regulators for particular industries. One that you're aware of is probably Ofsted, that regulates education. More in the realm of business and industry, the ORR is the Office of Road and Rail. It used to be called the ORR when it was the Office for Rail Regulation, but that changed its name in 2015. Ofgem looks at the energy markets. Ofwat, the water markets. Ofcom, communications. All of those four used to be nationalised industries. Some are still monopolies, for example, water. And again, one that you might have heard of from your macro side of the course, the Financial Conduct Authority, which replaced the Financial Standards Authority in 2013, primarily because the FSA managed to muck things up during the credit crunch. That looks at the banking and financial services industries. Throughout, when you're looking at government policy, you should be aware in the back of your mind of the possibility of government failure. Really good way of picking up evaluation marks. So that's where the government intervenes to deal with the problem, but actually makes that problem worse. It could just be straight incompetence. It could be that the decision makers are working for political reasons. So ministers in the UK are all politicians, and so are commissioners in the EU. Margrethe Vestager, for example, is a Liberal. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be pursuing it for party political reasons, but they might. Or it may be that the civil servants or the ministers might be acting for personal reasons, or it could just be that stuff happens that they hadn't actually thought through fully, and you get consequences that were unforeseen. And that's it on government intervention for the moment.